great to catch up. Lancashire and England, great player at our club, Jos Buttler. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm well, thanks, Heggy. Good to see you. Yeah, obviously strange times for everyone, and obviously life would be very different if the season would be underway, and I'd be in India at the moment with the IPL. But no, I have to say, it's been really nice to just stop for a bit and spend some time with the family. And obviously a really tough situation, but trying to see the positives in it and make the most of some quality time at home.
Absolutely, which is a subject really that most of the lads who should have been playing at this time have tried to get a positive out of it, and saying, it's spending time. I know you've got a very young family, and you would have been in India at the moment on the IPL, so it's a real bonus for home life, that.
Yeah, it is, and so so unique. Probably when this is all over, you might not get it again till the end of your career again. So just really trying to make the most of it. Obviously, George has just turned 1, so changing by the day. So it's been amazing to be around for 6 or 7 weeks and really get to know her and watch her evolve. So it's been really nice, and been trying to keep fit and do bits and pieces. And I think, really, trying to look at positives. The schedule of cricket can be so busy. So, really actually trying to think, this could be a good time for your mind and body to have a rest and potentially, prolong your career. I guess if you, it's very rare that you'd ever get a chance to take such a break in your career. So I think it could do us all some good.
Absolutely. I think people realise that, that the international cricketers these days, they're on the road all the time, and they never really sit down and take stock of what's happened over the last 12 months. And this last 12 months for you has been absolute of a whirlwind, hasn't it? With Cricket World Cup and Ashes and stuff like that. It must be now when you sit down and you have a cup of coffee and you're in your own surroundings that you actually sit down and think, wow, what a year that was.
Yeah, absolutely. I think 2019 was marked for English cricket for a while, wasn't it? Just how big it was going to be, and for everyone involved in the game, and for the World Cup to pan out like it did, it couldn't have gone any better. It was like you say, the most dramatic of finals at Lords, and for us to go down to the last ball and win. It was nice actually. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was now, that Sky did that like watch along weekend, and then it's probably the first time I've actually sort of really watched it all back. I've watched the last ball of the Super Over about 1,000 times, but I actually watched most of the game, and quite a lot of the lads were sort of on Zoom all together and watching it throughout the day. So that was quite good fun, and like you say, to really actually reflect on it and just sort of relive those moments, really.
It's great moments. And Josh, when I look at old footage of something, of a catch you've made or a run out that you've made, like that pivotal moment, do you ever cross your mind? Because it does me, because I was that kind of character, thinking, oh my God, what if I'd have fumbled it there in front of the whole world? And I think, oh my God. But, obviously you gathered it beautifully and the run out was, but oh God, it makes me really nervous.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people have asked that, what was going through your head when the ball's coming in. And, genuinely at the time, I wasn't thinking anything. You're just doing your job. But you're so right. Like afterwards, people mention, you could have dropped the World Cup or something. I would never have been able to play again. I'd have had to hide and never come anywhere near cricket again. It is, Matt. It's sort of, I don't know if you ever used to have those dreams when you're playing as well. Like I sometimes get a dream that like someone's just nicked one, and you jump out of your bed and like you drop one, or you can't get your pads on or something. So it's in the same kind of light as that.
Well, mate, I've been retired, 17 years, and I still have that dream that I'm next but one in, and I'm still over the other side of the ground having a walk round and 2 wickets fall quickly. I still have that dream now. So that's with you for the rest of your life, I'm afraid, mate. So listen, you look like you say you're keeping yourself fit. You look great. A bit of a trim on top as well. I've seen a lot of our lads have had a. Is that DIY? Have you done it yourself, or your missus done it, or? Yeah,
it was a bit of a joint effort. It was getting quite long, and I was actually trying to grow it long and thinking, but then I just had a couple of days where I got frustrated with it, and I was like, right, we've got to get it off. We'll get the clippers, and yeah, then we did it. And but a few days was what have I done? It was a shocker. But then it's slowly starting to look a little bit better. And it's just I suppose it's the lockdown cut, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely. Well, they say, don't they, mate? I think you're rocking it there. You're rocking it. That could be the new Jos Buttler look. But I think, yeah, my missus did mine the other day, and it nearly all came off. So I just thought, sod it. So good lad. So let's talk about your early career and where you started. How did your career start? Early doors.
Well, look, first getting into cricket, like lots of us, through my family, older brother and sister. My brother was playing quite a lot of cricket. He's 7 years older than me as well, so I was always the young annoying kid who wanted to join in with his mates, and which I think is probably really good for me, actually. You join in with the older kids who are all bigger and better than you, and you have to wait till the end for your go. And so that's how I really got into it. I think I was really, really lucky. My parents gave me fantastic opportunities as a kid, ferrying me from games here, there and everywhere. And then a big moment, for me, was going on to Somerset's academy at 13, and it tied in with my parents sending me to school in Taunton to go to King's College. A big moment there to go a completely different school from what I'd been in. Sport was huge at King's College. I couldn't believe how much sport you could play. Rugby, hockey, football, and 3-4 times a week with a full fixture list, which is incredible. And then the county ground being 10 minutes down the road. So I was really lucky. That was a great time for me, to really push my cricket on. And I think it's when I went on to Somerset's academy that I sort of saw a real path to professional cricket. And it was like you just assumed, if you go on the academy, everyone comes off the end of it as a professional, which obviously it doesn't work like that. But it certainly gave me a goal and a sort of direction that is where I could get to.
That's brilliant. And what was club cricket like in Somerset and Taunton? Lots of real competitive games, or was it your picturesque country little cricket grounds? What was it like?
Yeah, a bit of both, probably. Probably not quite as many clubs. There was, obviously Lancashire being such a big area, and but I played for Cheddar initially, which is near where my parents live. Right. So that's where my brother was playing, and so I started playing for them. My mum actually coached one of the teams as well. So when I got involved, so that was great. And they played in a couple of different leagues, so I actually could play for a club called Wells at the same time. So I could get 2 games of cricket in a week. Wow. It started off that Barrington rules. Remember, it's 4 overs each pair, and you start on 200, and then I started playing. I played a couple of men's games in the thirds and the seconds header, which was great, and actually then moved to play for Glastonbury as a club. They played in the West of England Premier League, so the bigger league, and sort of more of the southwest. I think in Lancashire you sort of play in a Lancashire league, don't you, because it's such a big area, whereas the West of England League, you'd sort of then play a few teams in Dorset or up into Gloucester, and that was really competitive. At Glastonbury as well, we had a few of the Somerset players who were sort of borderline first and playing in the seconds. That's where James Hildreth played his club cricket as well at Glastonbury. So there's a nice few links there, and really good standard of cricket. When you sort of just starting out, and great to play against men. I think that was one of the things I missed a little bit when I went to school, because you play a full fixture list. I'd sort of play the back half of the season for Glastonbury, but great to play, against guys who give it to you tough. They're competing on the weekend and want to beat you and don't want to give little kids an easy ride.
Exactly right. And people I think forget sometimes that every cricketer, whether they go on to play for the county or go on to play international cricket, which is every schoolboy cricketer's dream, who wants to better himself, they all start in the same place. Whether you start in Somerset or in Gloucester or in Hampshire or in Lancashire, you start at your own club and you play those Saturday afternoons with your mates recreational cricket, you probably have your first beer that you've ever had, and the first banter that you've had in the dressing room, and that's no different as you go up through the levels, is it?
No, absolutely, it's identical. Like you say, and every changing room is the same. There's always one loud, funny guy. There's always the clever one. There's always the guy who's the butt of all the jokes. And that doesn't change from your first changing room you're in to the England dressing room, which is fantastic, really. And it's those little reminders, I think, that are great, because it keeps stuff in perspective, and it's it's an interesting thought about when cricket returns, if it comes behind closed doors and there's no fans and stuff. And I know that'd be really strange for professional cricketers, but in a funny sort of way, it'll take you back to what it was like when you first started. There was no one there watching you, just playing because you loved the game. And I know that'll be different because you've experienced the other side of it, but that is sort of the most purest form of cricket, really, isn't it? That's what we all started in. And you drive around on a Saturday afternoon sometimes and you see a game of cricket and just pull over and watch for a bit, and they're all just loving just playing the game. So I wonder if when you sort of get over the strangeness of missing the crowd, whether you'll have times where you just say, this is great, I'm just playing a game of cricket again and just really enjoying it.
Absolutely, and that is what we do it for. We do it for the love of the game, and that's why we started playing, for the love of that game. And I love talking about that recreational side, mate. And that the smells of the dressing, the linseed oil, and your new bats and new pads, and people picking up bats, and that's what I love. And I do exactly the same as you. On a Saturday afternoon, if there's nothing at Emirates Old Trafford, I'll go down to my local cricket club. I'll take the dog and the little one. We'll sit on the grass bankings and watch a game. There's no better feeling, is there?
No, it's great, and I think it's so important to sort of remind yourself of that, and really, because the recreational game is the biggest bit really for the game. If that doesn't continue and keep producing kids who want to play the game, and that people who want to come and watch and stuff. So it's and I think that's one of the most important bits. From the last summer, I thought it really inspired people to play cricket, for the World Cup final to be on free-to-air TV, so that that cricket game going into millions more households, which hopefully can inspire many more kids. Obviously frustrating that this summer will have been truncated, or kids can't go and just do the All-Stars or join their cricket club but hopefully that love of the game has been put into them, and that we'll see the more future of people wanting to play the game off the back of it.
Definitely, for me, two massive eras in cricket was the 2005 Ashes triumphs with Varney and his gang, and then the Cricket World Cup for me was two massive injections of hope into our game. And you mentioned it, you said inspire, and that definitely did not just inspire kids that are going to play the game in the future, but a whole round of people, watchers, volunteers, which is pivotal to our game, mate. And that's a really good message. Let's talk about playing for Lancashire. You came up from Somerset, a good career with Somerset, and did you just fancy a change? What was the reasons for that?
Yeah, the big change was the opportunity to keep wicket all the time. Obviously at Somerset, Craig Keyswetter was at the club as well. Fantastic wicket-keeper batsman who played for England a bit and trying to break into the Test team. And I just started playing in the T20s and one days and started. And it was sort of like, I either give up wicket-keeping really and just focus on being a batter, or I have to move and really have a go at wicket-keeping and try and become as good as I can at it. And that was sort of the main reason for moving at the time, was to try and forward my career. I had to be keeping in every game to try and improve it, because it's what it's like. Keeping every day is very different to a bit of practice. So I remember sort of meeting with Peter Moores was the coach at the time, and I met him, and Winker and Morsey just sold the club to me. It was fantastic to hear him speak with a passion. Obviously his wicket-keeping background. Lancashire had just been promoted back to Division One, and it was just, as soon as we walked out of the meeting with her, it was just, that's where we want to go, and was really inspired to come and once I think I played at Trafford maybe once or twice as the ground was sort of being redeveloped. I remember changing in the other side, and then when I came back to the ground, actually to play for England against Australia, I think it was, just before I actually met with Morsey and Wink, and just blown away by the ground. It was just incredible. And no disrespect to Somerset. Somerset is a much smaller club than Lancashire. You coming to a test match venue, it is incredible to just, it's on a different scale, and the club as a whole. So, and I think it's been one of the best things I've done in my career. Move from get out my comfort zone a bit, come and move to Manchester and live on my own in a new city, a big city compared to Taunton, obviously, which is a very small county town, and to learn that independence, and that signing for Lancashire as an international player as such, and having that pressure, and having to perform and be that person in a dressing room, as opposed to sort of your local lad at Somerset, where you can sort of get away with things sometimes because you're the local boy. So no, it's been one of the best moves for me. It's been fantastic to come and really taking my game to the next level.
And knowing you like I do, and you've been around the dressing room, you've always been very, very proud of the Red Roses' successes and being part of that team. And I know that there's no quarter given or no questions asked about, you get as much stick as I used to get as a keeper. And so it's a very, very grounded place, isn't it? Like that Lancashire dressing room.
Yeah, it is a great dressing room to be in. And I think that's one of the things I've found so good about the club, is because I've been in and out lots with some international stuff or the IPL, and I'm not always there, but every time I come into the dressing room, you're just one of the lads, and you get the mickey taken out of you. And like we spoke about, dressing rooms, they're just great places. And I think one of the things I've really enjoyed about sort of this time, you've been speaking to lots of different, obviously I know Harv really well, but it's great to listen to him talk about times that you guys had at the club, Wasim Akram as well. And Lancashire's got such a rich history, and it's fantastic to sort of listen to it, and it's very inspiring for all of us playing now and everyone to play in the future.
Yeah, you're right, mate, and that's having this opportunity over these past 5 weeks or so to catch up with some of those lads, Harvey in particular, David Hughes, Ian Austin, Wasim Akram that we've spoken to. It's only now that you sit down, you're retired, and you sit back from the game, you realise what great times you had and what proud moments you had, and what you actually did in the game. And it was great speaking to Harv, the passion that he still has for Lancashire cricket. It was brilliant to catch up with him.
Yeah, it's just inspiring. And I think always, I think about any time you go into the dining room in the pavilion, all the history on the wall, and it's always, the 90s team and you guys on the balcony at Lord's, and that's what you want to taste as players, is those successes. So seeing you guys on the winning trophies, and that's what we're all in the business for, really.
Absolutely are. And you mentioned, you touched before on you touched before on that pressure of coming to a new place and getting out your comfort zone. And you're you've been fortunate enough to go all over the world playing in the franchise cricket, in the IPLs and the Australia. What's it like as an import into those franchise, to go out and that the expectations must be tough on a player?
Yeah, I think that's one of the pressures you have to learn to deal with, especially in India. As an overseas player, you're one of 8 in a squad, one of 4 on a team, and the other 4 who aren't playing are world-class players as well. So you're under pressure to perform. You've got owners who sort of see it as a business. They've bought you for X amount of money. That means you should perform in such a way. There's obviously all the nuances of cricket. It doesn't always work out that way, but there's expectation on you to perform and pressure to stay in the side. So that's been a great learning curve. I think that's been one of the big things for English cricket, and the white ball team especially. Over the last few years, been encouraged for people to go and experience the IPL, the pressure that you come under, the noise of the crowd, all of one of the things I came away from the first IPL just thinking was, you just got to learn to deal with the chaos. Think like MS Dhoni has always been a big idol of mine, and the chaos that's going on around him, with people wanting a bit of him, or the cricket, or the noise, and the way he just stayed so level is such a great lesson just to watch and see it firsthand about how you just got to be able to manage those things if you want to perform at the top level and perform in those crunch moments. So that's certainly been one of the massive pluses of it, and also the learnings. Now, my first IPL coach was Ricky Ponting, one of the world-time all-star players, and it's just fantastic to have him as your coach and listen to him talk about the game. And one of the most impressive guys I've ever met in cricket. Fantastic to experience that, and also you start playing with all these players you've played against around the world, and it sort of demystifies them a bit as well. You sort of chat to these guys and you go, oh, he's nervous about playing tomorrow as well. Actually, they're not just robots who just score runs for fun. They have the same feelings that oh, he's worried about his backlift or something. It's quite quite reassuring.
Yeah, it is, and like you said, there's no different feeling from walking out for cheddar thirds on a Sunday afternoon in Somerset, or Rottenstall in the Lancashire League, to walking out in front of 80,000 at an IPL game, and you just manage to look so relaxed and so cool. Where I get nervous thinking about watching players having to perform under that much pressure.
Yeah, it's certainly, some of it's an act, isn't it? That's you can act confident even if you don't feel it.
Yeah.
And I think I remember finding the first IPL very, very tiring. In terms of, there was so much going on, so much goes on off the field as well, with you're part of adverts and stuff you've never done before, and meet and greets and different things for different sponsors. And then thinking about the game all the time, I found it really, really tiring. And that was that sort of learning to deal with all that chaos and finding ways to switch off. Because the games don't start till 8:00 at night. Yeah. And to start with, I was getting up, normal time, going for breakfast at 8:30, 9:00 or whatever. And then I go, oh, I've still got 12 hours to go till the game starts. Yeah. So you sort of find a new routine. You start sleeping in really late and find ways to switch off and sort of try and really peak for the game. So there's lots of different, and I think one of the nice things about the IPL is then any situation you come up against in Lancashire or England, or if it's rain affected or you just sort of start to take it in your stride a bit more. And I know you get that with experience anyway, because you just learn about situations, but certainly feel like if things happen out of the norm, it's sort of easier to deal with it now, having sort of experienced in India that there is some organised chaos.
Madness. It is madness. And you do a lot for charity as well. And recently you put your Cricket World Cup shirt up for auction to raise some valuable funds. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Louise, my wife, her auntie is the head of paediatrics at the Royal Brompton Hospital down in London, and we've been in to see her a few times over the last. She does amazing work with kids who are very unwell. And when the COVID stuff started, we just got in touch with her saying, is there anything we can do to help out, and what do the doctors and nurses need? And initially, she said about how it's true what you see in the media. They are struggling to get simple toiletries and food and snacks and stuff. So she said they had like an emergency appeal sort of patients fund, which you could put some money into, and they organised a Waitrose delivery and stuff. And then we just thought about what else we could do, and sort of auctioning off the World Cup show. We thought they had the emergency appeal to raise money to buy life-saving equipment and ventilators, etc. And we just thought, why not sort of sell the shirt and try and raise some funds for them? And it obviously went way better than we imagined. It raised a lot more than I thought it would for a smelly cricket shirt. But I think it just felt like the right thing to do at the time. And obviously it has lots of meaning, that shirt, to me, but now it's taken on an even better meaning, that it's raised some money to help people who are really in need.
It was a great effort to see that, and a great effort by the public to donate to such a worthy cause of, like you say, such an important cause at this time. So, we talk about 2020 cricket season. Fingers crossed, everything crossed, that we possibly may see something at the end of the year. If not, it's not the end of the world, as long as people are safe and healthy. But that's something I suppose you've got to keep one eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed, for everyone. And I think it's just affected absolutely everyone, hasn't it? Whatever walk of life you're in, whatever your health and whatever your situation, it's affected you. So I think that's really tough. But one thing sport always does is bring people together, give people hope, give people enjoyment. So hope if there can be some form of cricket, whether it's behind closed doors or whether it's even a month at the end of the season where we play the Blast or something like that. I know, just throwing ideas out there, but I think it would just give people who have lots of Lancashire members who've been really looking forward to the summer to start. Just a little bit of something, a little bit of great to see all the boys on the field again, even if it's on TV or and get that enjoyment from sport again. Like you said, it puts things in perspective. Sport isn't at the top of the tree when things like this are going on, but it will certainly bring a lot of people together when it can start going again. So fingers crossed things can turn in the positive way as quickly as they went the other way.
Amen to that. I think every cricket lover will totally back you up with that, mate, as well. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. From just one thing before you go. We've been in isolation 5-6 weeks now. Any new skills? Are you doing any cooking? Crofty's doing DIY. What about you, mate? Anything out of the ordinary?
Yeah, I see Crofty. He looks like he could build my house, I reckon. He looks awesome. But no, I've been trying to do a bit of cooking, actually. I've been getting in the kitchen, and we was on tour and stuff. You never cook, and I'm not a very good cook. I can follow a recipe, but that's I'm enjoying that. Been trying to. I've got one of the Peloton bikes, those spin bikes, and quite a few of the other lads have got them, and you can sort of compete against each other for your and what's it called, output, like a highest output and stuff. So that's keeping the competitive juices flowing. But yeah, cooking probably. I've been enjoying the cooking. Certainly we've had good weather obviously as well, so the barbecue out and stuff. And
likewise, it's been brilliant.
DIY can be the next one. I'd quite like to be good at that, but I'm not the most practical.
Just give Crofty a ring. He'll come and sort it out for you. Right, Jos Buttler, that was absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant to catch up with you, mate. I'm glad that you and your family are keeping safe. We can't wait to see you again, Lancashire Cricket, and of course at Emirates Old Trafford. But I suppose we'll just sign off on really a message for people out there to try and stay safe in this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope everyone, all the members and everyone associated with Lancashire is staying safe and is healthy. And I think just keep faith and keep hope. It will turn around, and there's been some amazing things come out of it, hasn't there? I think Captain Tom has inspired absolutely everyone with the money he's raised, and also just the way he talks. That positivity and that it will turn around. So I think that's been one of the big messages I've taken from this is listening to him, and I'm sure he's right, and it'll all turn around, and we look forward to getting back on the field and seeing everyone at Emirates Old Trafford soon.